Hi. I'm gonna be fast because it's a hefty video already, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I did enough in the video, so I just want to let you know I'm gonna put the books down in the box so you can check them out. Not just the title, but with the authors too, and mention some and put down some book channels that I usually get my recommendations from, so you can check them out too if you are interested. And I selected my top 10 reads. I don't count rereads, so yeah, I hope you have fun. Caraval is a trilogy. I choose the first book even though I read the whole series this year. So the character I'm currently drawing is the first book main character, Scarlett. The main story is surrounding her, and she is slowly getting married, but she always wanted to take part in, or even just to take part in the Caraval games, which is like magical circus competition, but she couldn't get the chance to go there, and she finally receives some tickets so she can join, and this is where the story starts. I definitely enjoyed the atmosphere which went through the whole trilogy. I really liked how the magic system was built, and I think I like the characters too. They sometimes got stuck in the same place, but they tried to fight against it, so that's what's really nice to see. So now let's talk about the character and design I did. As I mentioned, I chose Scarlett, and I draw her in her usual red dress. After finishing the art, I realized I'd made a mistake, and that mistake is giving her the dark red part of the clothes, because there shouldn't be any of that. In the book, Scarlett keeps complaining about that the dress reveals too much of her for her taste, so oopsie. But I didn't trust my dress designing skill to get rid of that part and just have the pinkish side, because I don't think so that I drew it too nicely. About the frame, it's I tried to make it look like a cage. I think in the first books, maybe throughout the whole series, Scarlett is the one, I think all of them, but because I chose Scarlett, I'm gonna talk about her. She feels cornered with her marriage. She hopes that her life gonna get better after this, but she has doubts about that. And also she really wants to get out of her child's house, and that's why she wants to get married, so that's why it's a cage situation. I realized that I wrote Ribbon Cycle. I should have wrote Ribbon Boys, because that's the first book's title, and the connected name of the series is Ribbon Cycle. So oopsie, that's a mistake on my part. In the description I'm gonna write the right title with the author, so don't worry about that. So let's talk about why I like this series. I really do think the characters were well built up, and it kind of feels like I know them. It's a really strange feeling, especially that we are talking about books. When I first tried to read it, I didn't finish it, but this year I decided to give it another try, and it was definitely the right call. I had a more deeper understanding, more deeper understanding about the characters and why they act the way they do. Let's talk about where the story picks up at the first place. It starts with Blue talking about they wouldn't call it curse, but a prophecy that she has been receiving throughout her life, that she's gonna kill her first love with her kiss. So not first love, that true love. It was a big word, yeah, it was true love. And the other characters, who are referred as Raven Boys, are looking for a dead hidden king, and this is where we start. For the character design, I choose Adam. I chose him because when I read it the first time, I had the most trouble understanding him, but when I reread it and finished it, I was like, oh, I see. So because I started to like him, I drew him. I decided because I think, no. I was about to say in the first book he mostly wears his uniform. I think that's correct, but there is a famous shirt of his that he has been referred as later, but I choose the uniform. I'm pretty sure the uniform has a raven on it, but I didn't draw it there, so I gave the frame to ravens because this series is heavy on ravens. But in the end, I didn't like my final design. I think it can due to my lack of practice, because for a while I haven't been drawing characters, and unfortunately Adam suffered it, so someday I want to redraw him. Darren Shane, I do know that's the author pen name, but in the series he uses this name also for the main character. It's a 12-book series. I know it sounds a lot. It's not really for me. Take this as with a grain of salt, but every book it's kind of 200-ish, so not that chunk of a book, so you can kind of fly through them. I think the lengths can to they were announced as kid books, and yeah, for story wise it is for kids, because most of the twists didn't really got me, but it's really visual with the fight scenes, and I'm not sure it's that for kids. So I don't know where I would draw the line. But yeah, even though I'm an adult, definitely a grown up, I still enjoyed it. So don't be scared of reading kids' books. That's my advice. Also, and now let's talk about the art. I chose Larten. In the original series, he is the teacher of the main character, Shane, and since I grew up, I realized I have really enjoyed the teacher characters. I can get really fond of them. So that's why I decided to draw him. Also, there is a whole other series about him that I was fortunate enough to read. Thank you, my friend. This series was lent to me by my friend, so thank you. So I drew Larten, and on the frame I draw a little spider, because Larten has a spider called Madame Octa. And on the spider back there is a little mouth with two fangs to show they're vampires. It's such a silly idea, but I really like that detail. Winterwood, where do I start? This story is so up in my alley. It has a witch in the woods. Also, this book has a really good atmosphere, and I loved how the author treated the witch's magic, and also the witchcraft was portrayed. I can talk about the witchcraft. I'm too afraid to talk about the magic system because I'm afraid I'm gonna spoil anything, so I'm gonna not touch that. But about the witchcraft, it's really like recipes, and I liked how witchy and unreasonable they could get. So I choose to draw Nora. She's the main character in the book. She's the witch in the woods. To tell the truth, I kind of forget how she looked like. It's usually how my brain forgets stuff, how the characters look like, the character's name, then the book title, author, the book title, and then story. This is how my brain forgets. So I forget how she looked like, even though I like the book. And instead of going on the internet to check notes, I don't own the book. I borrowed it from my library, so I couldn't just open it up and see. I decided to recreate how I remembered her, or how I would view her these days. So if I made a mistake on how she looked like, that's the reason for it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done this way, but here I went. So with the drawing, I went with a young witch from the woods vibe, because that's what the book about. I gave her a big jumper because the story takes place in the mountains during winter, and you need big warm hoodies, not frozen. And I think this is the part where you can see I kind of get the hang of drawing humans again, so I was happy about that, and I think I really liked the drawing, so hee hee. Night Circus. How should I plate this to you? This book is really, really heavy on atmosphere, so if you are looking for an atmospheric book, you can pick this up. The plot is there, but could have happened more things in those pages. Yeah. Was it still enjoyable? Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It's on the top 10, so... But yeah, if you are if you enjoy the plots a little bit more than atmosphere, maybe that's not for you. So the story is about a sorcerer competition which takes place at the night circus. And the night circus, how how should I say it? It's open at night. Great wording, I know. And the sorcerers try to win the competition that they don't really understand. I couldn't explain it very well because I was there for the atmosphere. But yeah, definitely circus is for me. They are a place that's really magical. So that won me over already. And this is the first art that I decided to go with an illustration instead of character design. To tell the truth, in my head it looked better, and I'm kind of sad about this, so I'm not really happy with this one. I decided to draw Celia during her performance in her tent, and she has a big performance with pigeons, some kind of bird. And why I chosen black and white? The reason for it that the night circus mostly black and white, so yeah, that's a nice touch of that word.